two, one, go.
Alrighty, welcome everyone to the episode 2 of Carrington Ke Charche. After the immensely popular first episode and popular demand of our fans, millions of our viewers, we are back. A few days late, but we are back. And with me is none other than Mr. Ballon d'Or. Because who's always with Terminator? It's Ballon d'Or.
Y-
Yes.
You know what's the thing that stood out to me?
What?
Welcome everyone. As I
I
said,
think we
the
I
three
think we
and a
have
half.
moved on from 1 to 2 fans now. So I think we can say everything.
Yeah. So, and hence the apology for being late. But oh my
To all
God,
the
man,
two
from
people.
the all the two, three and a half, four people. Yeah, going from the depression of the match against Galatasaray, the image of Zaha scoring, my whole YouTube being fluttered with shots of Zaha saying quote unquote cold things, cold lines. Oh my God, going from that to getting that win right before the international break. I mean, I want to overstate it. I want to say कि ये this is the चमत्कार जो हमारा season turn around करेगा, and this is what it means to be a
For the
United
nth
fan.
time. For
Yeah,
the
but
nth time.
honestly, this is the life of a United fan over the last like 7 years, I would say. It took some time for us to regress when Fergie left. So for the last decade, this has been our life, struggling to the likes of Brentford at home and a mediocre player who we all love, let's be honest, or let's put it like this. We a player who has had mediocre and below mediocre performances consistently comes and scores 2 goals. As I said, we struggle to score against the likes of a Brentford going into an international break. So jubilation, yes. Can this be a turnaround? Possibly. Have we seen this story before? A lot of times. And the last 3, 4 times, it has always ended in the manager getting sacked. So
Yeah,
on that
that's
optimistic note, let's let,
yeah.
let's jump into what how did you experience that? I remember we were all on a call with our friend who hopefully will invite someday to this podcast
With our
slash
second subscriber.
yeah, second. Oh, I don't think he is subscribed yet. I don't think
Arey,
he.
yeah. Cancel.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think we've even convinced anybody who is not like by law required to listen to us, like our parents or our partners or our friends. So,
Uh,
right. So we were watching the match together, and I want to ask you how you felt because personally, I was just in a state of shock when that match
so
ended. But
honestly,
yeah.
like there were not many like much expectations, honestly, because of again against Galatasaray and then Bayern, yeah, like Bayern, you were kind of like expecting that to happen, and then before that, and even the games that we won, like against Wolves and I think where we went 2-0 down in the first 10 minutes. That was against, I forgot what team that was against, but all the
Nottingham
games that
Forest?
yeah, Nottingham Forest. Both the games also we didn't really play well, so it's not that we were just being unlucky in these games that we are losing. We were actually playing bad. It's not like the boys are playing good, but it's just the refs decision are going the other way around, or it's just the ball is hitting the post every time, or we're not getting decisions. It was just really bad football. You can see the wingers not tracking back, the half of the team is injured, whatever the reason might be, but the end of the story is basically we were not playing well. So start of the Brentford game, didn't have much expectations. I was like, oh, maybe let's hope the worst we can do is we can get a draw. But like when we went 1-0 down, you can just feel like earlier when we used to get 1-0 down, we could feel like okay, yeah, you can see the players, starting actually
Yeah.
now getting into the game. They're like, okay, yeah, we
Like
need
I
to.
think something we saw perfectly captured when I think Liverpool is and Man City. And now, as you're seeing, as Arsenal is going into its final forms,
Yeah.
they are starting to capture that essence a lot. Even Tottenham, even Brighton, like when they go,
Yeah.
maybe not Brighton actually, but yeah, even the likes of Tottenham, the big teams, when they go a man down, a goal down, or like a decision doesn't go against them, you see them turn, like hit their next gear very consistently.
Liverpool went two men down and they were still matching Tottenham, who's at the top of the table. So again, that's the thing I guess I was used to, like, even though the last seasons were bad, like, but you could still see like some fight. But last this season, it's just been a weird start. Like you can see like the players are already like not working hard. That's something you would see at the end of the season, that okay, they've played 50 games, they're tired and all of this, but looks like for some reason they're already ready to like give up on this manager or whatever. But didn't have much expectations when we went 1-0 down. I was like, yeah, knew it. And
And it
I
is
don't
such
see.
a typical goal, right? Ball bounce mistake, ball bounces around, a
Yeah.
failed Lindelof clearance,
Yep. Yep.
right?
So that's a
Yeah,
good sign, actually. So okay, first at the end of first 45 minutes, right? We have conceded a goal, and let's go one by one. Casemiro. It was his misplaced pass again. What did you think of Casemiro's
but
performance in the
yeah,
first half?
so for Casemiro, I think on match day, and I think very similar for even Onana, and I'll also tell you why I'm grouping them together and I'll contrast them to the likes of Bruno
Yeah.
and Rashford. Like Casemiro and Onana on the day, I think got a lot of hate. But I think as the time has progressed since the match, people have realized ki um, it wasn't like solely down to their individual errors, right? Like if you're getting peppered with shots, you're nervous. You know you're like the most watched position in football right now, like as a new keeper after De Gea leaves. I mean,
Mhm.
anybody would have nerves, man. And to have your goal peppered, like, even team like Brentford had 0.95 expected goals. That's a lot, you know. And it's
Yeah.
not like we are like creative monsters. Like, we had 1.43 expected goals. So, I mean, we also didn't do a lot. I mean, we got some chances just outside the 6-yard box through McTominay, but overall tells you that we didn't create as much, even though I think one thing I want to like, yeah, I want to go back to my point, what I was saying about Casemiro and Onana. So what I'm saying is, on the day people were really mad. Over time as progress, they realize it's not just to them, and I think it's just, I think for Casemiro, it's like a tactical adjustment thing, right? I think we're asking him to do too much, and of course he's getting caught up in these situations, right? And
Mhm.
for Onana, I think it's the nerves. So I think they'll over time they should get okay. I think the likes of Bruno and Rashford, people are starting to question if they fit at all, right? And I think footballers hear these murmurs. They I think they hear these questions on their game IQ and stuff. It's a very personal thing, I think, to attack somebody's game IQ. And like if you're Rashford and you're like you hear the chatter out there and people say you have no brain, you're only like muscles, and like you're just basically pace and power and you have zero brains. That's how people have the luxury to talk about you on like massive platforms. That's why you see
Speedboat
that
without
we
wings.
correct, right? Speedboat without brains, right? So you hear shit like that, and then you can imagine it fucks with the player's psyche. I think Bruno is just not a fit for the system, honestly. So that's why I'm clubbing both of them together, because like scrutiny on Rashford will always be high. As a purple patch player, life is always going to be hard for him. So I think I find him recovering within this season hard. And I just think Bruno is not a good fit for Ten Hag system at all. Actually, if you look at his like what control, pressure, right, and
Mhm.
interchangeability of positions, I don't think he's good for either any of those three things, right?
I think
So I
with
think
the
those are my. Hmm,
the problem
tell
with
me.
Bruno and Rashford is like completely different. Like with Bruno, yeah, it might be a system issue. And but the Ten Hag has had like one whole season with him, and he's made him his captain. So definitely he sees something there. I think it's also that the Bruno is playing out of position, like at least most of this season. And
I
whenever
do
he
agree with
is
that.
in position, he's not that bad. Like he has some games where he's just belting rockets over the goal and everything. But when he plays in position most of the games, when we have our first 11 around him, I think he plays very well. With Rashford, the issue is people are like when he's playing towards the camera, right? Like when he's playing left wing and you can see it, he's on near side. You can see him losing the ball and then not tracking back and then just giving up and then raising his hands. And then you can see him running straight into two opposition players when there's a simple pass somewhere else. He can just cut back and give it to someone and then make a run. You can see it so close to you. He's literally in a spotlight. So and when you see someone like not tracking back in like 15th minute of a game and that leads up to a goal, it just bothers you, it just frustrates you, and you just want to like go and like shake his head like क्या कर रहा है भाई जो 11वां मिनट है अभी से कैसे थक गया तू और अभी से क्यों तू इतना लाइक उदास होके बैठा है like what's going on with you?
But
It's
but
like
bro,
when he
can't
plays.
you? I mean, if you remove the aesthetics, like the perception of it, like I think I would argue Bruno does the same amount of damage. My problem with Bruno is, man, he gets bodied, man. Like I don't question his techers as much. I mean, he has decent technique. He has really, I think he has a really quick brain, really fast brain, right? Not necessarily the best decision maker, but really, really fast brain, which is a very unique trait for number 10, right? Like how we all say Declan Rice is a unicorn, like midfielder in his position. Odegaard is like a specialist 10. I think he is a
Mhm.
specialist 10 in the way that his brain thinks really fast and he can create like in half a second. Right?
That's a good thing,
But
right? That's not
really,
something
yeah,
which.
yeah, yeah, I completely
Mhm.
agree. My problem is in modern times, like you have like athletes in the midfield, man, and I see him getting bodied. Like I've seen him get like name a midfielder who was like dueling with him for like a match, like man marking him and him man marking him, and he didn't get bodied. Like Odegaard, Rodri, Bernardo, Gundogan,
So
like
you're
in
saying he's
every
physically weak, basically, right?
and he
Like
gets
he's
because of that he basically becomes you can make him zero in a match and over because he like can he has potential to go negative below zero. He regresses into below zero like territory and then we completely lose the game. I think Rashi and Bruno share this trait where they can like yes single-handedly win us a game but they can also lose us a game in the first like 30 minutes by how the tone that they set, right? So that was actually my
I
point. And I
would
think,
still say that Bruno,
are you
I'm not.
confident about Bruno's future, long-term future in
I
the team?
think so because again,
Hmm.
so to give you like last season stats, he was the leader in big chance created like above De Bruyne, and he was
Hmm.
the leader in total chances created above Trippier and De Bruyne. So like
Hmm.
if he
Two players who
he's
are
and
considered
also
like elite in their positions.
like to be honest, like De Bruyne was probably injured for a long part of that season, but De Bruyne is like a different class, right? He's the best midfielder in the
He is
world
a
right.
different class. Yeah.
If you can still
Yeah.
compete with him. Like it's not Bruno's fault that he manages to keep himself fit and available, right? So you have to just judge them on the numbers they
Fair
provide you.
enough. So yeah, you would rather it's like a choice between having fit games versus having bad games. Like
Yeah.
basically having them absent or having them have a baseline level of bad performances or fatigue in general. I
At the
feel
end
you. I
of
think
the
that's a good
season,
point.
at the end of the season,
Yeah.
he's matching the numbers produced by the best midfielder in the world. So I think if he plays in his
Just I feel
position at 10,
I agree with the numbers. I agree with the quality. I'm saying the question for both of them is in the system. I think like
I don't think Rashford is a
if you
system
re,
thing. I think Rashford
if
is
you
I don't think
replace see
yeah.
if you replace Rashford if you replace let's say Richarlison with Rashford in Tottenham, do you not think they're a better team?
Would
They
like
would
Tottenham.
immediately beat yeah. If we do
I
that
don't
right now
think
in
so.
the
You know
January
why?
transfer
I don't.
window,
I don't think so. You know why? Because I think Rashford will make
track back.
Madison ineffective. Because he won't pass, he won't
That's
make
true.
double runs,
Fair enough.
he won't play like the way a Postu uncle wants to play.
Okay, let me
Like
flip the question then. Do you think Bruno can do what Madison does?
yeah, I think definitely. Yeah. I don't think like Madison is
Not GA wise,
better.
like beating a man wise, like running the show. Like we haven't seen that in so long. from Bruno. And we
No,
haven't seen
when
that
he
a
first
lot under Ten
came,
Hag.
yeah, under Ten Hag, it's hard to remember like when he did that last time. But we've seen him run the show like with his long balls and even with his like short passes and like first time flicks and all of that. So he's definitely capable. I think once Bruno gets in the middle and then you have a consistent 11 around him, or not even 11, you have a consistent front three and two at the back,
Hmm.
like with Casemiro,
Fair
whoever's gonna
enough.
play. I think he's gonna do well, but Rashford, I'm not confident because looking at him,
Okay.
it's hard to understand if it's system or if he just wants to prove that he is the man. Like whether he has two players in front of him or one player or five players, he's gonna try and dribble all of them and score a curler. That's what he's trying to do
I
every time.
think I heard another podcaster or like some YouTuber say this, that you can relax now. Like you don't have to score all the goals all the time. I
Exactly.
think that's a big thing. Like that programming will take time to like to he has not passed since probably his first 15 matches, right? Because back then he was playing normal football. Like you see his highlights, he would get past 1% direct, either shot on goal, pass, edge off, like he's making far post run, rear post run. Like
Mm.
you'll be like, my God, Rashford used to make far post runs. If you see his the goal he scored in his debut,
But
right?
debut was
Late
yeah,
runs into the
better,
box, late
yeah.
runs into the box. He's playing around the 6 yard box. He's not now. He's like he's been around shit players so long that it's just like I'm gonna get the ball and I'm gonna make the most of my time on this ball right now. That's his programming, and I think you're right. That needs to change. Okay, so
Yeah,
I
that
want to move
should
on
have
to the
changed.
next topic also, right? Like the next
Okay,
topic is
so
like what?
then
Yeah, you guide us. You guide us into the thing.
okay. So next I want to ask you about the substitution at halftime. Casemiro out,
Mm,
and I think he
mm,
got Eriksen in. And in post-match interview, he said, "I want to see more football." Now,
yeah.
Casemiro was not the worst player on the pitch, but of course, he was at fault for the first goal, plus Onana as well. But you can't substitute your goalkeeper.
Mm,
That's a bigger message. So now,
mm.
what do you think about Casemiro? Is he in danger? Is he on thin ice? Is like he running out of
Um,
patience with
I
Casemiro?
think it's about finding that balance in the front six, I would say, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I think you can compartmentalize this problem into like let's say three. Let's not say front six, right? So it's like when will we have our defense healthy? Correct.
Mm-hmm.
When will we
Yeah.
have balance in the midfield, right? And when
Mm-hmm.
will our attackers uh, coordinate and score goals, right?
Yeah, because if remember
So let's
at this time, right now, Casemiro has like 4 goals, or I think 5 goals, something like that, in the season
Hana,
already. Yeah.
correct, right? So let's talk layer by layer, right? Because I think this is also the thing I wanted to lead us into, like through this Casemiro question, is like what happened, what are the implications of not just this match, like what is our next game? I believe it's Sheffield United.
Sheffield United away. Yep.
Okay, so if you're Ten Hag going into that match, who are your 15 man like squad who you are locking in for the next 10 games, bar injuries, obviously. Like now he's in a position where like Casemiro's substitution made me realize this, that now and Ten Hag is signaling this to us that hey, time is running short. I need to pick a team and I need to get them to play 10 games where I get decentest results. But more than that, that's that 15-man squad that I play for the remainder of the season. Right? That's the problem right now. We haven't played a consistent 11. We haven't had a consistent 11 for like a long, long time. Right? So
Yeah.
Casemiro's substitution, I think what was happening was it addressed the middle layer, which was balance in, right? Our best player in the game was Amrabat. I think, like if you look at his stats, I mean, the thing is he doesn't look very athletic. So in the moment he looks unimpressive, but when you see the highlights back, he's running
Mm-hmm.
shit, bro. He's absolutely running shit. Um, yeah, Bruno, I think was decently creative. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Bruno is a stats monster, bro. 6 recoveries. Um, right? 0.17 non-penalty goals. Um, and let me see yeah, I don't see the expected assists. Oh yeah, 0.14, like 0.31 expected goals in it. I mean, that's actually poor for Bruno. But I mean, he put in the defensive work rate. The match test, like eye test, also was saying
Mhm.
Casemiro just looked like he was covering too much ground, and that was making him a little bit gassed, from which usually the mistakes come. And I think that mistake was typical of that, from which we eventually like conceded the Jensen goal, which is like he's making ball recoveries, he's creating because he's feeling pressure, right? He's like, bro, it's been 25 minutes. Nobody has done shit. Like he's not used to that feeling. I think that's what happened. And I think that's what Ten Hag said, that I think this the problem is Ten Hag also is like Dutch as hell, and he just says what he's thinking exactly. Yes, we
Yeah,
needed more football, but the way to say it is like I needed a little bit more patience. I needed more, balance, the more
creativity. Yeah,
playmaking in the midfield. More like Amrabat profile, less Cassette. Like you have to see the
yeah.
spectrum, right, of defense and like the triangle between defense, creativity, and possession, right? So Casemiro is trying to do defense and creativity, and that exhausted him concentration wise, like lungs wise, and that's why the mistakes are happening, according to me. I think Mount is an incomplete midfielder, bro. Honestly,
I think
like
Mount has just come back from injury and it's his
yeah,
signing. You have to remember Casemiro technically
fair enough.
came when
So
yeah, Ten Hag was here, but he
and
was
like he
not.
wanted Frankie De Jong, like I
Yeah,
mean maybe we would have not done like as well last season if we had signed Frankie De Jong instead of Casemiro. But I think this season we would have been in a better position if we had Frankie De Jong over Casemiro. You know, like
basically
imagine,
Casemiro is Frankie De Jong's replacement for season one, and Mount is Frankie De Jong's like replace or not replacement, but like
correct,
2.0, like
correct,
second for this season.
correct. So I think what he's doing he basically split the Frankie De Jong um with a sitting DM persona into like this Casemiro Mount dynamic, right? That you get creativity and you get work rate. I mean, and this is not FIFA, bro. It's hard for us to like predict what the balance will be, but that's what we're gonna do exactly in the next exercise. So I think it was just about balance, and we had to like link up better, play better. Um, because the new philosophy is you need to control the game. Okay, it's fine. We might not be creating much, but as long as we are pinning them in their half, right,
Mhm.
and try
Mhm.
constantly passing the ball, passing the ball, passing the ball, you have to learn how to play like that, especially against low block teams. Accept it. You will not win uh, every match against a low block team. That's why that strategy is so popular. Even a team like City might barely scrape a 1-0, right? Do you agree with me or not? Like
Yeah,
low
yeah,
block is famous for a reason, right?
yeah.
Right. So learn to play that style. I think that's what Casemiro was not able to do in that first half. Like
But
Amrabat
in
was
your
settling down, Bruno
skill,
was settling down, Mount was settling down, Casemiro couldn't settle down. And another person who didn't do well, I think, during that first half a lot is like Lindelof. I don't know where his head is, man. He's somewhere else.
I think he's also playing out of
Yeah,
position. Right? He's playing right back.
yeah, but like, dude, like, see like, uh, tell that to Hakpo. That dude has played wing back, number 8, number 10,
Yeah.
striker, winger, right? He like
Mhm.
what I'm the thing is, I think I don't know, man. I think maybe Lindelof's been here too long. It's just like this whole season, his heart's not in it, bro. Maybe this is the thing with Lindelof, right? Without Licha, he's a cat,
Yeah.
not a lion. That's the
Because at
problem,
the end
I
of
think.
last season, he was like really good. At the end of last
Defense was
season,
solid, man.
he
Overall,
was
to be very
really
honest, I think Lindelof was poor. I think Casemiro was poor. I think uh, Mount was poor in the fact that he's not clinical, man. Like
yeah,
you,
Mount,
if
like he
you're
had
getting,
good chances, but I don't know what happened. Like, yeah, it's hard to say because you can see him running, you can see him working hard, you can see him like pressing, you can see him like taking shots, but again, there's no
yeah.
output.
I mean, he has not been a poor in any game, man. I'll give him that. And if you think about it, usually when like majority players in a team are poor, even the people who are not in bad form, they also look shit only. Like it's a rule. Like if you have 4 or 5 players out of form, the whole team look shit. So I would give Mount this. Let's remove Mount from the conversation, right? So that
Yeah,
leaves us with Bruno, Casemiro, Amrabat, and then we have to build from there, right? So remove Mount. I think Mount should play. I think he is the reason we are getting good control in the games, bro. Along with the other midfielder who I want in the midfield for sure,
yeah,
which is Amrabat, right?
yeah.
Now I think Casemiro in the meantime should play as one of his back three in build-up. He plays like the 3-1-6, right?
Mm-hmm.
The um
Yeah,
Casemiro should play as one of the back three in build-up. He should play Amrabat as the one, and then you have that six in front. I think, and with
yeah.
Bruno in the
Right now
middle.
it's the
I
opposite.
think
Right now it's the opposite.
correct.
Like Amrabat
Right
is
now
in.
it's the opposite.
Yeah.
Correct. I think the thing is Casemiro as a central defender will not have the pressure to create, and it'll show his strengths. It'll show his bro. He's a monster in duels, right? So
Yeah.
him with a person like Johnny Evans, right, or even with a Maguire, they can. That one thing, bro. I've noticed game on game, our build up from the back is like really good now. It wasn't under Mourinho. It wasn't under Ole. Like even with shite, okay, I don't want to say shit players, but like even with a completely second string back four, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And midfield, which is not doing too well. Our build up from the back is pretty decent, man.
Is
I
it
would say
because
that.
the opposition is not pressing our goalkeeper anymore? So we
Oh, this is a good point.
right
So
because
I've seen this also. I think Ten Hag is getting found out by opposition coaches and tactics a lot now. Like they figured this out that don't press them, right? Uh, uh, let the man-to-man system. Sorry, tell me.
no, I was just saying, yeah, like they figured out that don't press the keeper anymore because the keeper just has way too many balls. He doesn't know how to save balls, but he has way too many balls to like fuck up. He almost did in the last game, but he's been good with his passing and everything. So they're not pressing the keeper, and but still for some reason, like I'm not sure if I agree with like our build up from the back has been good because what you see is he passes to the defenders with these defenders, not with Varane and Licha, but with these defenders, they try passing sideways. They can't find anything. They pass it back to him due to the press, and then he boots it long to Rashford or Højlund. That's what I've been noticing. So
Yeah, the thing is now replace the same thing with quality players. The same concept. Isn't that how Liverpool City build up in transition? Exactly how they will pull you out, right? They will play a ball to somebody who will win their duel, and
will
then
contest
bam,
the
transition.
wingers who will contest the header and not run away from the
Correct.
ball, hoping that the opposition player under no pressure will miss the ball and somehow magically they'll be like free on goal.
Right. And you know why I think our build up, possession and build up just from the back is decent, right? So Brentford, we had 64% possession, right? 8 shots on target versus three. That's pretty good, right?
Mm.
Galatasaray, we had 55% possession, 5 shots on target versus four. Okay, that's pretty good. Um, and remember, finishing was extremely poor in Galatasaray match. Okay, bro, look at this now. Okay, Crystal Palace, the Premier League fixture, 77% possession, 4 shots on target, two for Palace. Right? Then we have the Palace Cup game, which honestly we shouldn't consider. They wanted us to knock them out, so let's remove that. And Burnley, right? 60. Oh, okay. Okay, we got absolutely dominated in the Burnley match for possession. But that shit, it's 62 to 38. Holy crap. I was not expecting. Right. I'm now my question to you is this. Okay. Now I want to like eventually wrap up this video also, right? So my question to you is this. We have had like some 5 different pools that have played 2-2 matches, 3-3 matches, right? We had like that whole preseason pool. Then we had like all his new signings injured. Then we are having this Onana Casemiro. phase with Bruno and Rashid. Like we're having these phases, right? So we've not had the median or the average performance of this team, how the starting 11, as I said, the first 15-man
Yeah.
squad looks like and plays like, right? So we have no idea. I would say this, like, as I said, we dominated the last four matches for possession, but our creativity is not there. And then only we got absolutely dominated by possession for like, I don't know how that's even possible, not thinking back, right? So what do you think, like, summarize your expectations coming out of the like international break? And I'll tell you the fixtures, right? So we are playing Sheffield United, we are playing
Field, and then
Copenhagen, and then
again, and then
yes, and
City
then we are
again.
playing Man City, Newcastle, and like Fulham. At least we'll take this 5 game stretch, you know. So
Yeah,
what
yeah.
summarize your expectations from this 5 game stretch?
Honestly, it depends how many of our defenders are back fit after international break, which I'm guessing neither of them, because three of them are out for long term, apart from Varane. So maybe Varane is back. Even with Varane back, like I'm not sure how good our defense is gonna be. And then, so honestly, we should be beating Sheffield away easy. I mean, let's not say easy, but we should be beating them. And then we have to beat Copenhagen because that's a knockout game. If we lose or draw that, we're out of
Okay,
champion, basically. So we have to beat those two. Now, ideally, we should always beat City, but I don't see how we are even coming out 3-0. I think it might be more than that.
okay,
But again,
okay,
if we win the next two games, and City's already lost this weekend. If they lose one more, the momentum is now completely shifted. So you don't know, how it's going to be. Is that game home or away? The City.
I think that game is at home.
So yeah, so Old Trafford. Yeah, you can say maybe
Yep,
there is
it's at
some.
home.
Yeah, there is a
Let's say
small
let's say a loss, because I mean Man City
because
is more likely to do more with their international break than we are.
yeah, yeah, that's fair enough.
Newcastle, I'm putting, yeah, tell me, Newcastle
Newcastle just battered PSG 4-1,
battering, right?
and before
So,
that they battered someone 8-0 or something, right?
yeah, Aston
So
Villa.
yeah, Aston Villa.
I, no, no.
Fuck.
Yeah, I think some good team. They battered like, yeah, maybe South. It's usually the Southamptons of the,
Yeah, I
right?
think
So, okay, and then
some.
Fulham, I'm guessing you would want a
No, it
win,
was
right?
Sheffield
We'd have a,
actually. Okay, Sheffield
okay.
win.
So win, loss, win. Okay, cool.
In
So,
loss, loss.
okay, I
Yeah,
mean,
Fulham.
given
I'll
our
say
current
draw.
form,
Fulham. I'll say draw.
Fulham,
Is
you'll say
Fulham at
draw. Okay.
away or
So
home?
basically, to summarize, you are expecting no turnaround, no sudden improvement or no drastic improvement. Basically, no improvement coming
No
out of
growth.
the no. Okay, all right, perfect.
No. Yeah, it's
Thank you, Akshay. Thank you. We are really banking on you for that one. Thank you. Okay,
positive reinforcement.
so yeah, let's do this, right. I want to like ask you this question. And I've been sitting on this. I haven't really. I've been talking about this the entire like podcast, which is like coming out of the, let's say, 5, 6, 7 weeks from now, assuming all the major players are fit, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Taking whatever you have seen, whatever signals you have in your brain around preseason, last season, his comments about certain players, you eye test, stats, whatever. What do you think the starting 11 and the 4 key players from the bench will be?
Uh, that's a hard. Assuming like everyone is fit.
Everyone is fit. Like, I don't think anybody will be unfit 5 to 7 weeks from now, right? My question is like, what do you think is his vision of the 15-man squad? You know,
His best 11, basically.
his best 11, his
I
best
think
15, because I think the concept of best 11 is like a little bit dated now,
yeah, yeah, you need like especially with five substitutes, yeah, you need at least best 15. So
right?
so keeper so it's Andre Onana. Like he has to do something. Like he cannot give up on his keeper midway of his first season after like battling so much for him, right? Because everyone was like, why Do we need to get rid of De Gea and all of that? So I think it is Andre Onana. Defender, right back, I think it's Aaron Van Bissaka. I like, you know how much I love Dalot
I
and
mean,
his
we all,
goals.
yeah. I mean, but we also are addicted to loving mediocre players, right? So
Yeah,
we can't help it. That's the world we know.
yeah.
Okay,
But
Aaron
again,
Wan-Bissaka on.
I think Van Bissaka, I like Van Bissaka, but I'm not sure for his system if he's his ideal player. He might prefer Dalot, but what Bissaka provides, I don't think anyone else in the world does. So I'll go with
Okay, let's move on to the other three. Good shout.
Varane and Licha, easy.
Okay.
Varane and Licha. Left back, again, I like Luke Shaw, but he's coming back from another injury, and he's also prone to like missing for a few games. And
Hmm.
this is gonna be a little bit controversial. But what I've seen of Regulon these 2 games or whatever he's played, I've absolutely loved him. Like
Yeah,
he's
I
been
don't think that's
outstanding.
controversial to say, by the way, because uh, if I'm currently ranking like what I've seen from Luke Shaw, what we know about his pendulum swing, also no
Mm,
point like a person with that kind of injury history, rushing them in, putting pressure. I think my current ranking on the left back is Region, Malacia, and then Luke Shaw. Because I think Malacia is more likely to return before Luke Shaw is, as it stands
yeah,
currently.
but
Yeah,
then you also
let's
have
move
to
on to
think.
the midfield.
But you also have to think like Luke Shaw with Rashford. Like if you play
Yes,
Rashford in that position, is also like
we'll
you have
get to how we'll babysit Rashford.
yeah yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay, so who are you having, let's say, in the pivot role?
so I would have yeah Casemiro there, like sitting in front of the back four. Oh, this is
You
gonna
would have Casemiro as the deep
yeah
player.
yeah.
I
Amrabat
thought
like
we agreed.
I
So
you
ideally, I think we all expected a sit and go system, right? One sit, one
yeah
go. So
yeah.
let's work with that double pivot assumption,
Not
right?
sure if that's what his system is gonna be. I think what Amrabat is like long-term replacement for Casemiro. Also, Amrabat we've seen
Hmm.
like 3 games. Like he's a new toy basically. So why that's why we're
Are you
excited.
saying Mount
I think Mount because
in the
you
number
can't
eight,
have
or and I'm guessing if that is the thing, which is
yeah
like all
Bruno
our
is 10. Yeah, Bruno is 10. So
okay,
Mount
Bruno
can
Aston.
basically play with Bruno when we're attacking, and then he can slot back next to Casemiro when we're defending.
Got it, got it. And
And
who
then
would you play on the right wing?
right, I think right now it's Anthony. Ahmad eh, puts a good shot, like provides a good option, but again, I don't think he's
Hmm.
gonna put him in front of his signing, so he'll have to wait. But yeah, Anthony, and then
Got it.
left, it's gonna be Rashford, but I want to see Garnacho because
Alrighty.
not I'm not liking what I'm seeing from Rashford. And
And
then
there's
yeah,
only one right answer to this question, right?
that's the right way to say Haaland
So
is Haaland.
now, if you remove like the short-term memory or short-term evidence we have, right? What do
Mhm.
you think of the starting 11 in the context of the Premier League season?
I think the defense is solid. The left channel
Mm,
might be a little suspect with Rashford and Regulon if they're both attacking.
mm.
Uh, I think midfield is solid as well. Dep- Honestly, like this depends on how Bruno and Mount show up. Like, are they bringing their A
Yeah,
game?
if they are able to coordinate. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. But I think we need to give them
fair
some
enough.
time. The issue is right now also Bruno is playing right wing, so he's
Mm,
Mount and Bruno are not really playing with each other the way they should.
correct.
So I don't know how long
And I
that's.
think they both have potential to link up really well.
Yeah, yeah.
What about this? Do you think this front three has about like 45 goals across a Premier League season within them?
I mean, if
Maybe
you,
40?
I would replace Rashford with Garnacho, so you provide more
Mm,
service to Hoyland, because now whether you like it or not, he's the main guy, and your job is as wingers to provide service to him.
feed him.
right?
Got it.
So
So
I
can
would,
I safely say your Garnacho is your 12th man for sure?
yeah, yeah, he's the
All
first
right.
sub.
Who?
Yeah,
All right. Who's your second sub?
Amrabat.
Okay. Third sub?
Third sub, I think it is going to be Martial. Again, I'm not a biggest fan of him, but
But
you
he's a
you
pretty good
cannot play
option.
Hoyland. Yeah, you cannot play Hoyland like every game, like twice a week, 90 minutes. So it would have to be Martial.
Fair
And
enough.
I think he's
And
gonna have
who's your last?
he's gonna use Ericsson as well.
All right. And I think while we have the slots, who else do you
I think
think will be the other?
mm, based on preseason, he might give Menu a shot. Kobe Menu.
Hmm. And
And who else is left?
so we have
Ahmad.
Malasia coming back, Ahmad coming back, we have
Ahmad. I think
Pelestri,
Ahmad
we
might.
have
Yeah, Palestine.
Dangor, we have
Ah, it's a hard one because Palestine Ahmad from
Luke
same
Shaw,
position. Hmm. Hannibal actually.
McTominay.
Hannibal has been good, right? Hannibal has been.
I think Hannibal has been good, and maybe I think the oops, sorry, this is supposed to be Anthony. Yeah,
Hmm.
Hannibal has been good, and I think the last person by elimination would be Luke Shaw.
Yeah, I think you already added him.
No,
Too
so
short.
this is my oh sorry. I think I
Please
was
don't
supposed to
answer.
add
Stage
yeah, we
yeah.
can't.
But
Yeah,
now the
so
players
the
who are
weird
missing out are like really good. Like I love Pelestri,
Pelestri,
Ahmad. So yeah.
Malasia,
Eh,
Ahmad.
yeah. McTominay, the main,
You're not a
we haven't talked about him. We were missing McTerminator, the Ballon d'Or winner.
McTerminator. Well, save the humans, and I hope we continue to miss him. Yeah, this is the problem, man. This is why, like, us not having a football program, right? We don't even know how to react to like a performance. Is he shit? Is he not shit? Anyways, man, this was a
I think
pretty
if you
hmm,
look at his form for Scotland, like we have to talk about McTominay a little bit because that's the best performance he's gonna give this season. So if you look
mhm,
at his performance for Scotland, he has 6 goals in 5 games and 1 assist. So it's
mhm,
through, it's not like a few games, it's like throughout the season of like Euro qualifiers that they've had. And then now he's scored like literally a hat trick because he could have got a hat trick from 5 touches if Marshall had not played the ball offside. So I
correct,
mean,
correct.
he's
I'm actually
our perception of him being bad is because he's always played as a CDM, which
DM,
he's not good at because everything
correct.
he hides behind the opposition player. He doesn't
I
want
think
to.
we have such a epidemic of history rather of incorrectly profiling or inconsistently profiling like our players that I think McTominay has also been a victim to that same problem.
Yeah, I think he's 26, and I think he as a runner, like I don't know if you can call him a 10 or like a false 9 or someone who just runs and then just pokes the ball in like when you're not expecting him to, like from runs from midfield. But maybe as like a
Yep.
attacking midfielder, we can, like in these situations when we are like
This is the problem of
playing
like
around.
being a United fan and having all these below average players. You don't even know what you can rely on them for. Like, okay, we
Yeah,
can get him to the 6 yard box and he can score a goal, but that you can't do that over 90 minutes, over a 90-minute game, right? You can't do that over 10 matches, right? But we have to see, man. I mean, he has shown that he's a really, really good finisher. He has shown he's a really, really, really bad DM. So something's gonna give,
yeah, yeah. I mean, I agree. So, I mean, he was good
right?
in this game, but let's not jump on conclusions and be like, oh, this is what we
Yep.
were. So, yeah,
I'm not
I
jumping, bro.
agree.
I'm sitting the fuck down. Enough with this. You know. Alrighty, cool. So you want to get into the last question and then close this out?
Yeah. So, what's your prediction for Sheffield United away after the international break?
Good question. They're last in the league, minus 16 point goal difference. They have won
So,
zero matches, drawn one match. I think we're losing to them 3-0.
I knew that was coming. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, they just got battered
And
8-0, I think, by Newcastle, and yeah, they have no win. They like to look worse than Luton in a league. That's an achievement as well. Like,
yep.
given where Luton is coming from, like there was what in
Remember
non
the 18th team in the table had 68% possession against us.
ah
Ah.
ऐसे like गंदे
Mm-mm.
गंदे stats देगा तो फिर तो मुश्किल है. I
Yep.
mean,
Yep.
it's just in a way.
I
Yeah,
mean, I'm
it's a
gonna say
very,
like a 3-1.
I would say a narrow 1-0, maybe 2-0, because we'll be 1-0 until like 87th minute, and then they'll be like trying to score, and then we'll put some long ball over the top, and one of our runners will finish, and
Dude,
we'll
you're
be like,
already demotivating me from watching the match. No, it's gonna be a great performance. We're gonna see a turnaround. McToms is actually going to win the Ballon d'Or this season, and
mm,
the people are gonna
maybe.
realize that the real bald man they should have gotten behind was Ten Hag all along. Cheers, guys. We'll see you at the next episode of Carrington Ke Chache.
Alrighty, see you next week.